Good morning. My name is Kevin Anthony Williams Jr. and today I will be talking about Streptococcus group B, also known as GBS. Today I will be talking about the basic information about my disease, the causes of GBS, the symptoms, the treatment, history, my experiment, and the demographics. This is not the order I will be talking in, so don't be surprised. Okay, basic information. Well, I have two nephews. One is 3 years old, the other is less than a year, and one of them is named Zakai, and the other one is named Zakori. But did you know that Zakai, Zakori, me, and all of you guys that are sitting here today could have once had GBS transmitted from our mothers? GBS is a disease that affects newborn babies and pregnant women. An interesting statistic about GBS that 25% of healthy women receive GBS during their pregnancy. Okay, the demographics, also known as the different strains of GBS. GBS has a specific gender for adults, only in women, and most specifically pregnant women is GBS found. GBS can be found in all ages of pregnant women and in any kind of gender for babies. In race, it is more commonly known in black people than in white or Caucasian. The causes of GBS. GBS is a bacteria, and it is a species that is called Streptococcus algiatica, and it is transmitted from the mothers to the babies. GBS causes meningitis and cesspit, two other diseases that are found in women, and it is the leading cause of morbidity and mortality. The symptoms of GBS. In newborns, GBS is developed in 12 hours, and it can result in glottiness, unresponsiveness, poor feeding, irritability, unusually fast or slow breathing, and other symptoms. In adults, it is also developed in 12 hours and has blood infection, skin and soft tissue infection, and other symptoms. Treatments, also known as prevention. GBS is treated using antibiotics, and there's two types of antibiotics they use. They use penicillin and ampicillin. GBS the penicillin and ampicillin can be resisted in the treatment. So if you receive it, it cannot work, but most of the time it does. Some examples of treatments that used to work are sildenafil and erythromycin. These two treatments were used back in the 1960s for GBS, but do not treat as effectively as now. Future studies of GBS is that they found a new antibiotic to replace the two others that were not very effective, and it's called linezolid. Even though it has not yet been evaluated if it's really effective, to be effective. And the scientists are working on now a vaccine for GBS to prevent it. I'll be talking to you a little bit about the history now. The 6 W's of history: the who, what, when, where, and why, and how. So GBS was discovered in the 1760s by a scientist named Henry Hospital, and it was discovered in a pregnant woman and her baby. GBS can also kill babies and other pregnant women. What they did to prevent it then was they treated it with penicillin only because they didn't find anything for ampicillin. They didn't find ampicillin yet, and it was not very effective. My experiment paper. So in my experiment, they took 5 groups of people. They took newborns from days 8 to 14. They took also babies from 14 to a year. They took children from a year 14 years old, and they took adults from 14 and above. They tested the 5 groups of people with antibiotics, and for the babies, they gave them breast milk, and they let them exercise their hands by moving them. And for the 14 and above, the adults, they tested them with lime solid and let them exercise and eat regularly. But for the year-old to 14, they tested them with antibiotics but didn't let them exercise or eat regularly. The results of this was that the group of people from 14 and above, their disease was it was disintegrating, as you can say, and they were feeling a lot better, while from 1-year-old to 14-year-old were not as affected as the 14 and above. In conclusion, so what we learned today was what GBS is. So GBS is a bacteria that is from a species known as Streptococcus aegypti. And what to remember is that GBS is found in babies and pregnant women. So don't have don't have too much of sexual interactions, and be safe around your partners. Thank you.
Questions?
Did you say, is it like transmitted through like sexual intercourse or something?
Yes. Okay.
So you said there are 2 different medicines. Is there one for the mother and one for the child?
They could both be used for mother and child.
So do they use different medicines? No, like, can they use both or just one as opposed to 2?
They can use both, but they have to use at least one.
Is there any viral type streptococcus
into the